Goldeneye, one of the best first-person shooters of all time, and honestly one of the best games of all time. It revolutionized that genre for years to come, and we can still see the effects of it even to this day. But is this all-time great game getting a remaster coming in 2021, coming this year? According to Grassloo00, who has a full leak of the game, sources are pointing toward yes. But before we dive too far into that, guys, welcome to Ogle's channel. Thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't already clicked the subscribe button down below, be sure and do that now for your latest in gaming content, gaming news, and a little bit extra here and there of cats and other stuff that we create. But let's get back to that Goldeneye Remaster. It's possibly coming out this year. Now, our story starts back in 2007. That's about 5 years after Microsoft had bought out or acquired Rare from Nintendo. And we started seeing a lot of the old N64 Rare games being remastered for the Xbox or the Xbox 360. We got the Perfect Dark remaster, we got the Conker's Bad Fur Day remastered, and naturally, GoldenEye being Rare's pretty much their biggest game on N64, they're going to want to have a remaster of that as well. And in 2007, they did announce such a remaster was coming out for the Xbox Live Arcade. And people were obviously hyped for this because, like I said, this is one of the greatest shooters of all time. A full remaster, you're going to be able to finally, see off in the distance without being so fuzzy like the N64 had. Also, a full online multiplayer. I mean, this game was going to be pretty much the ideal game for retro gamers playing on the Xbox at the time. Is that game retro if it's only 10 years old at the time? But then the game was completely shelved. According to interviews at the time, they just couldn't get the licensing straight. Now, everybody assumed it was Nintendo that was, holding up the licensing process of this. But if you look back to actual interviews at the time from Rare, they don't specifically say it was just Nintendo holding up the remaster back in 2007. According to one of the Rare representatives at the time when being asked about the cancellation of the GoldenEye remaster, he said the following: "That was a tricky one. To be fair, I kind of wish the differences got sorted out, but obviously there's the licensing issue for Bond. Even if it's something that's already come out, it's incredibly hard to solve because there's so many license holders involved. You got the guys that own the license to the gaming rights now, the guys who own the license to Bond as an IP, and there are just umpteenth license. So obviously it wasn't just Nintendo holding back the release of this game. There's a lot of different licenses that were coming together that was holding back the release of this game. But regardless, this remaster, it was shelved at the time. And people just sort of forgot about it until about 4 years ago when a leak came out of what they claimed was this remaster, and it showed the first level of the game, or first couple levels of the game. And people were ecstatic about it, like, oh my gosh, so the game was in a mostly finished state. Well, will we get this remaster or not? And the leak came out, and it went away, and no one really thought more about it. It was just simply, okay, now we got some footage of it. That was pretty cool. But a few days ago, a YouTuber by the name of Grassloo00 released footage of the entire game. GoldenEye 007 Remastered was a finished product back in 2007. He released footage of every single mission. He released footage of the multiplayer. This game was not a quarter way done. This game was not halfway done. This game was completely finished. If you'd like to see his individual footage, I have a link to his channel and a link to the video in the description down below. But this game was completely done. And as you can see here, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, people have asked him where did he get his footage from? Where did he get, where did he have access to play this game? And he's not revealing his sources at the moment, but he did say that this game is slated to be released in 2021. Evidently, the licensing did get sorted out. Nintendo was not the holdup, he said, but he has stated that the licensing must be sorted out because he said the game is coming out in 2021. Now, there are not a lot of other sources that are saying that, but at the same time, there are no other sources that have access to the full game like he does. He obviously has some inside access when it comes to it because he's the only one who's been able to play this game. He's the only one who's been able to play it all the way through. He's the only one who has footage of this game. So obviously he has some insider information. So when he says the game is coming out in 2021, I trust him on that. I truly think the game is coming out in 2021. Now, he didn't state which systems the game is going to come out on. I would just sort of naturally assume it's probably going to be obviously on the Xbox because they are the ones who work with Rare. And I also sort of assume Nintendo would probably get some of the rights as well because lately Nintendo has been working very well with Rare when it comes to that. So I would see a release on probably the Nintendo Switch as well as the Xbox One S, or possibly even just simply the Xbox One when it comes to that. Because obviously this is not pushing the hardware. This is a remaster from 2007. So is it going to be a cut and state-of-the-art remaster? Well, of course not. But is it going to look way better than N64 ever looked? Absolutely. And you can see from the footage here, this game looks amazing. I mean, I'd be down to play the game right now. And the idea that we can finally play it online when this game comes out and have an online GoldenEye, phenomenal. Now, I know some of you guys are saying like, well, we've already seen a GoldenEye remastered. Like, why is this such a big deal? Well, we did see the Goldeneye remake that came out on the Wii, and it was later released on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 as well. But that wasn't an actual true-to-form remaster of the original game. That game truly was a remake, and it wasn't a bad game, but they changed a lot of the aspects into play and the gameplay of the game itself. It didn't play like the original Goldeneye on the N64. It was similar, but it wasn't the same. And there was also the project that was going to be released on the Unreal Engine called Goldeneye 25, which was truly a beautiful, beautiful remake of the entire game. But they did that without Nintendo's permission, without Rare's permission, without Xbox's permission, or Microsoft rather, and naturally they got a cease and desist on that when the game looked to be mostly done. And so this is really our only hope at the moment of a remaster of the 007 GoldenEye game. Well, what are your thoughts on the game? Would you purchase a remaster of the GoldenEye from 2007 on Nintendo Switch, on the Xbox One S if the price was right? Do you want to dive back in through all those missions, through all the multiplayer, online multiplayer? Is this something you guys are interested in? Let me know in the comments down below. Let's get the conversation going on that. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and by all means, go out there, find a great game to play, and just simply have a great rest of the day.